as well as our county as a whole, so that we can all stand proud of our continued progress. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Supervisor Wagner. Roll call is going around. 21 members are present this evening. Supervisors Hanson, Linsmeyer, Nichols, and Aulick are excused. Next up will be consideration and correction, if any, of our September 21st our County Board minutes. Motion by Supervisor Banky, seconded by Supervisor Engelbrecht to approve those minutes. Any discussion on the motion? See none, all in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried, and the minutes are approved. We only have essentially one item on the agenda tonight. First up will be, I guess, County Executive Bob Ziegelbauer, presentation of the proposed 2022 budget. Bob, the podium is yours.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the County Board, each year at this time we reflect on our mission, financial goals, and priorities as we look to plan the budget for next year. Our mission is to keep driving high-quality services efficiently, taking as little from the taxpayer as we can. You have heard me talking about Manitowoc's long-term financial plan, financial goals and priorities many times. They continue to be to hold the line on taxes while delivering high-quality services, keep our debt low, less than 10% of the statutory maximum limit, continue with a robust capital improvement plan, and maintain our facilities, our county trunk roads, and our equipment. Our financial plan is working quite well. Now we have a chance to continue our progress. Annual budgets are more than one-year plans. We have a plan to deliver high-quality services and maintain all of our equipment, county trunk roads, and bridges now and in the future. We hold the taxpayers' money as a precious resource. Please look at the charts I've attached to this memo. Yes, we borrowed $35 million in the past 15 years, but that supported over $100 million in capital projects. Very low interest rates and resulting lower cost of capital spreads the cost of capital expenditures to taxpayers over its useful life and allows us to keep our property tax low. Manitowoc County continues to be in strong financial shape. The Manitowoc County 2022 budget that I am proposing today calls for a tax levy for operations of $31,143,973.41 to support total spending of $83,460,586. The tax levy is the same as last year. The typical taxpayer will see a slight decrease in the county property tax because of the new construction in the county from last year. Our priorities for 2022 fall into three main categories. Investment in capital projects will be advanced beyond our usual level by the American Rescue Plan Act passed by the federal government. This allocates $15.3 million to Manitowoc County. I propose that Manitowoc County voluntarily share half of the funds with local municipalities in the county and invest the rest in needed county projects and recovering funds lost in the COVID pandemic. Investment in human capital will be advanced by raising the pay scale up 2% in all cells on the pay scale due to the rising inflation, proceeding with no increase in the health insurance premium for the 8th year in a row, standardizing our vacation and time off schedule, and investing in extra positions at the sheriff's, human services, and district attorney's departments. Continuing with an aggressive highway maintenance plan for 15.9 miles of road resurfacing and replacements of 2 bridges on the county trunk highways for a total of $3,138,420. I am not recommending that Manitowoc County borrow money to fund this budget in 2022. Recall, from time to time, it's appropriate to borrow for capital projects that last many years to spread the cost to taxpayers over the useful life of these assets. This spreads the cost out to taxpayers using the project and helps keep our taxes low. For 2022, we will substitute one-time money from the federal ARPA grants for revenue losses for any debt issuance. With the passage of the American Rescue Plan Act by Congress in 2021, the county and the municipalities, the cities, the townships, and the villages in Manitowoc County were allocated $23.2 million. The county got nearly 2/3 of the total, $15,341,133, with the municipalities splitting up the rest on a per capita basis. My goal with this one-time federal money is to provide the most amount of good for the greatest amount of people in Manitowoc County. With that in mind, I'm recommending that we voluntarily share the funds with our local municipalities on a cost-sharing basis, 50-50, with their ARPA money. For the cities in Manitowoc County, I am recommending that we cost-share with their ARPA funds on lead pipe lateral replacements or water projects in their community. For the townships and the villages, since they have no lead pipe lateral replacements to fund, I am recommending that the county cost share with their ARPA funds for water and sewer projects, broadband, and replacement of county-approved emergency radios. The potential cost sharing in my proposal amounts to $7.8 million. We will reserve that amount for cost-sharing project over the next few years. The rest of the county allotment is going to county projects and recovering lost revenues from the pandemic. I propose that we set aside $250,000 for grants on a cost-sharing basis to nonprofit organizations within the guidelines. My proposal is not without uncertainty because there is a recent Attorney General's opinion that says counties cannot appropriate money to nonprofit organizations. If Manitowoc County decides to proceed with my recommendation, we will have to resolve this and by a separate resolution set out a protocol to open it up to all nonprofits in Manitowoc County, evaluate the applications, judge them fairly, and award them without bias. This will require more work in 2022. I am recommending that we appropriate $2,101,057 in ARPA funds for reimbursement for various county revenue losses to the general fund and to the Expo Fund. My budget proposal for 2022 contains several key items that I would like to specifically draw your attention to. The proposed tax levy will have no increase from last year. I propose the tax levy to be the same as last year, which holds the line on property taxes and provides the typical county property taxpayer with a slight decrease from last year because of the additional new construction adding additional property in equalized valuation. Our employment level has been resilient. We are meeting the goal that we set out to achieve by rewarding employees for continued improvement in the delivery of services. In addition to the 2% across the board increase on our pay plan, our performance management plan provides employees with an opportunity to increase their earnings for their good work. As a result of good experience with this self-funded, self-directed, high-deductible health plan, there will be no changes recommended in health care premiums for the 8th year in a row. County trunk road maintenance continues to be a high priority. In 2022, I am recommending that we appropriate $3,138,420 for highway projects with 15.9 miles of road resurfacing and new bridges on County Trunk Q and County Trunk Highway JJ. Manitowoc County has rising needs in the Human Services Department. In the last 3 years, we have been expanding to provide services for families and their children. We have rising workloads in our Children and Families Division for Child Protective Services, foster children, and clinical services, and the Clinical Services Division. I attached a financial dashboard to this memo. Look at that as you look at the Human Services budget. If you asked Human Services supervisors what causes this, the answer is the turbulence caused by the opioid crisis giving way to the meth crisis, bolstered by expanding entitlements. Young parents messing with drugs and getting off the grid endangers their children. That is when the Human Services Department gets called on to provide services. I am recommending that we add 17 positions in the Human Services Department. At least 10 of the added positions will be funded by state or federal dollars. The same situation that causes the increased demand for human services affects law enforcement. I am recommending that we add 3 positions in the Sheriff's Department, a detective, create a professional standards lieutenant, and add a criminal support specialist. We support law enforcement in Manitowoc County. And I recommend that we add a paralegal to the district attorney's office in recognition of the increase in cases in the office and to fully utilize the extra assistant district attorney assigned by the state to that office last year. The health department has performed exceptionally well during the pandemic under the new health officer, Stephanie Lambert's leadership, working with the State Department of Health in contract tracing, testing, and vaccine clinics. That collaboration will continue during 2022. Manitowoc County had a down year in 2020 because of closures and cancellations due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2021, Expo bounced back with a very successful county fair in August. The federal ARPA grants provided us with an opportunity to replace lost revenue because of the pandemic. In 2021, we allocated $415,000 from the ARPA funds to replace lost revenues due to the pandemic. I am recommending that $170,000 be appropriated from the Expo Reserve for a variety of capital projects that the Expo Board and the Public Works Committee unanimously recommended. I am recommending that we appropriate $650,000 to the Public Works Department to fund major maintenance of our equipment and facilities for our continuous 5-year program. Manitowoc County works hard to hold the line on taxes, and we have concentrated our expenditures, seeing to it that we spend the taxpayers' money as efficiently as possible. It's paid off in our services and the quality of our operations countywide. I want to draw your attention to the section of the budget booklet which restates and summarizes appropriations on a department-by-department basis. So there it is. This is a budget that holds the line on taxes, not a single penny in more taxes from this year to next, with no borrowing next year, continues our low debt profile, and has an aggressive highway maintenance plan, a major initiative in the area of law enforcement and human services, while having a robust capital spending program. I believe that this is a solid plan to continue our progress in Manitowoc County. I look forward to your deliberations over the next few weeks and would appreciate your support of these proposals. I invite you to meet with me as needed, informally or at the committee level, to help answer your questions and understand details in this budget as you prepare to pass it in November. Thank you very much for your consideration, and I'm open to questions now or in the future.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Bob. I know it's a lot to digest in the last 10 minutes, but if anybody's got any questions for Bob at this time, it would certainly be appropriate. As he mentioned, he's certainly going to be available over the next several weeks and at Finance Committee meetings. Oh, I'm sorry, Supervisor Benke. Go you.
Mr. Chair, Bob, what is the total revenue loss for the ARPA funds for the county, just the county? Have we calculated that?
A combination of, it's $2 million.
So that's the 2,101,057?
Right, exactly right.
Okay.
It's split up between the general fund and the Expo fund.
Okay.
And the Expo fund is getting $415,000 or so.
Sure.
And the rest is in the general fund.
So do the others that we are working or looking to work with understand that they need to calculate that revenue loss as well?
I'm sure I've been at township board association meetings, and they emphasize that. I don't know if the townships and the villages have much to recover. The city's a little bit more, but each municipality will have a different view of that.
Including the 501c3s. If that gets worked out, they would have to show their revenue loss as well.
Not necessarily, because they don't have any ARPA funds that they were receiving in this batch. The ARPA funds that I'm talking about only go to cities, towns, and villages and the county.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Benke. Supervisor Metzger, you were next.
Yes, I was wondering for the health department, is there going to be something for the electronic monitor system?
Yes,
There
it's
is.
listed in the back
It
of
is.
the book on the listing of the ARPA funds.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Metzger. Any other questions for Bob at this time? I did talk with Supervisor Hanson, who couldn't make it tonight. He had another engagement, for lack of a term, but his plan is to start having finance meetings after the annual meeting on the 25th. So he wants to hear from the public, because there will be a public hearing on the budget that night, so we'll go from there. The annual meeting will be October 25th, and I was going to announce that anyways again, but anything else for Bob at this time? All right, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Bob, we appreciate it. And to talk a little bit what Supervisor Dyzak was, I'm sorry, Supervisor Hagan, I apologize, on the wrong side. But just to let everybody know once again and remind everybody again, the next county board meeting will be the annual meeting, which will be held October 25th, 6:30 p.m. in this room. The annual hearing, or the budget hearing, will be that night. We'll also have a hearing on what the next thing I'm going to be talking about as well. But just remember that. And also, just for the members of the Special Committee on Redistricting, we will be meeting next Thursday, October 21st, 4:30 p.m. in this room to hopefully finalize the plan and bring it to the county board on the 25th. And we will also be having a public hearing on that portion of the redistricting plan at that meeting as well, and hopefully for final passage. Which one was that, Supervisor Zimmer? 4:30 p.m. on October 21st in this room, yes. So any other questions or comments? All right, I told my wife I would be home at 10 after, so we gotta wait a little bit yet. But no, I apologize. Supervisor Marsh, you have a, oh, you want a motion to adjourn? So motion to adjourn by Supervisor Marsh, second by Supervisor Mink. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We are adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a safe trip home.